Hello, it is Niemira at VanFUNDING Vancouver conference, and today we have a pleasure to talk to Kevin Hobbs from Vanbex, the CEO of the company.
Yes.
Welcome, Kevin. How are you?
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Yes, and you are going to speak today at the panel as well.
I am, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, right after this.
That's great. Well, Vanbex and you.
Yes.
And that equals expertise.
Yeah, I guess I'd have to say that. We were the first professional service company in the world in blockchain back in 2013. So we helped build some of the most amazing projects in the crypto space, working with names like Ethereum, Vacuum, Storage, Dash, and we can go down the list. But we worked with over 100 companies in this space, helping them kind of build the foundation of their blockchain aspirations, you should say.
Yes. Well, so you have a tremendous experience. So 2017, 2018, we can see the differences in the prices, in the markets, the fluctuations. So do you think that right now there is a correction? It's a time for the correction?
Well, I think we're seeing the correction right now. So in 2017, we had the big explosion in the blockchain space. And in 2018, what happened is we lost the barrier to entry. And I talked about this a few times, talking about the Trojan horse that kind of has ruined the crypto space. So in the beginning of crypto, you had to purchase Bitcoin or Ethereum to even get into these token sales that were very popular at the time, which caused the uptick in the purchasing of Bitcoin and Ethereum. In 2018, in the early side, you had companies like Telegram who were doing token sales, which were billions of dollars, well, 1.8 billion, and they didn't accept any crypto. They accept fiat currency. And what happened there was you got a double spend on the market, so you had no barrier to entry, infinite supply with no demand, which basically oversupplied this market. And BTC dominance went from almost 80% down to 25%. But the only way that these companies could actually sell their newly minted tokens out into the market to get back into fiat was to sell it into Bitcoin, into Ethereum, and then out in the market. So that's why I think we got our kind of downfall, and the market started tumbling back in February, March of this year.
From what you see, the clients you are working with, the companies, who are your clients? ICO, STO, or something else? What is the flavor of the day?
Right now, probably I would say 95% of our clients that come to us to talk are all doing some sort of security or equity or asset-backed token. Utility tokens were something that showed a lot of the problems with our current investing landscape and how we did it currently for the last 40 plus years. And it gave a good insight for what we can do in the future. But now we need to kind of dial it back and get proper regulation and governance on it, and that's where these new classes of tokens like securities and equities and tokenized assets are kind of coming into play.
Yeah, so when we're talking actually about STOs, self-regulatory, regulation, compliance, that all plays a huge role, and it actually sits at the foundation of the company. How truly important it is for those companies to be compliant? I
think it's extremely important. All companies need to be compliant. If you're familiar with like the online gaming space, like online gambling, online sports betting and stuff like that, and it was a multi-million-dollar industry. The minute that it started to get compliance and regulation, it was a multi-billion-dollar industry. And that's because people knew how to play in the space. Right now, people are still confused about how to play in the space because we don't have proper regulation and guidance. Once we get that, it's going to open up the doors to much more opportunity in this space.
Tokenization. Tokenize or not tokenize?
Well, that depends on your business model. So if you want to tokenize something, tokenization brings you a lot of benefits that you don't have in traditional worlds, but a lot of that is in the back office. When you're talking about your audit trails, the transparency, and opening up to a new class of investor, but that also is going to talk to us figuring out a new way to allow new investors to get in, to be accredited in ways that we don't currently have right now. So that's going to be the next step, is to figure out how do we accredit people based on their knowledge of what they want to get into, not just what their bank account says.
Right. So do you think that tokenization can actually bring some democracy to different sectors?
Definitely. Because with blockchain technology, we have the ability where we can trust in technology and not in people or centralized authorities who are telling us what we should believe or what we are showing us what we should see. So this allows every person who understands this technology to see for themselves what's really going on.
Is it going to be also like more cash flow for the ones who own the assets and they want to tokenize them?
Well, it can be more cash flow for the companies that are looking to tokenize if their ability to reach a new audience and a new investor base is there. And that depends on a lot of different factors based on jurisdiction and what your offering is to your audience.
Yes. So generally, when we're talking about techonomics,
Token economics?
token economics, token economics, it is truly a future for it? Is it going to be a direction?
Well, a lot of people talk about token economics, but really you want to use a lot of the same principles that we do in today's world to do your business modeling around what your token is. So first things first is what's your token attaching to in your business model, and then you're going to model your business economics around that token, and that's what becomes token economics.
Yes. So it sounds complicated, but the truth is at the same time, if the company is doing everything right, then it's beneficial for the company, and it's also beneficial for the ones who are investing in it.
Definitely. The more transparency and the more honesty that we have in this space, which is what the technology can bring, it's only going to be beneficial for investors and companies moving forward.
What do you think what regulators should do right now? Because there's a lot of debate about it. I know it's a tricky question, but at the same time, it's a very important one to know, because a lot of companies are working, or whatever they're creating, it's just in this sandbox, it's just within, based on the exemptions only. And regulators are not moving fast enough to fulfill that need and those changes what are there. At least for today or for next near future, what can be done between those companies and regulators, at least to advance those new technologies a little bit and have them moving forward?
So the regulators have a tough job. I don't envy them. We've been working with the regulators for a couple of years here in Canada. We have a good relationship with them, and they want to understand. And it's up to us as leaders in the industry to help them understand what they need to do. But at the same token, we need to stop trying to fit our old rules and laws into the new technology. This new technology has already showed us those flaws, and we need to start adapting new standards to speak to the new technology and also the new class of people that are coming up. Millennials would rather purchase a cryptocurrency than invest in a bank. So we have to start creating laws that speak to that, and certain things like accreditation by education, which means as long as you're well informed, you should have the same opportunities as someone who has multi-million dollars in their bank account to invest in something. So the same opportunities to grow as an individual financially and in your career.
So we are talking definitely about democratization, and everybody in this ecosystem needs to understand, and including regulators.
Yeah, they do.
Kevin, thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and everything what you are actually going through from your experience as well. Really
Perfect.
pleasure
Thank
talking
you very
to you.
much.
Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the conference.
You too.
Thank you.